6 p.m. Monday through Friday, Sactown Sports.
It's story time with a very special guest, a three-time NBA champ, 11-year NBA vet, former assistant with 6 teams, including 2 seasons with the Kings. As a player, he was known for his clutch performances, and his teammates knew him, Drape says, Junkyard Dog. Mario Elie, nice enough to join us. Mario, thanks for your time. How are you today, sir?
Hey, I'm doing well, guys. Thank you guys for having me.
You're very welcome. Thank you for your time. What did you think of Game 1 of the Finals?
I thought Boston played with a sense of urgency. Thought Dallas was trying to fill the game out. This is the NBA Finals. You don't go out and fill a game out. You should be ready to go, especially after all the time they had off. I thought Boston did 2 things excellent on defense. They took away the lob. They took away Lively and Gafford effectiveness at the rim, and they only gave up 1 corner 3. So they did the little things defensively to sort of take Dallas out of their offensive rhythm.
Hey, Mario, it's Kyle Draper, man. I'm hearing a lot of people react to Game 1. Some people saying it's over. I've seen enough basketball to know that, each game is its own individual thing. Do you think Dallas has a shot in this series, and what adjustments do you think could help them out?
I think absolutely they have a shot. They got 2 excellent players. I know Kyrie didn't have a good game, so I'm sure Coach Kidd they have an excellent coaching staff. They're going to find a way to get Kyrie going maybe early, maybe try to get these big men, some shots around the basket going. They need their other players beside Luka and Kyrie in order for them to win. Boston's a very deep team. They got different guys capable of going for 20. I don't think Dallas has the same luxury, so they're going to have to try to get these other guys involved. Luka's just going to have to – Luka always has the ball. He's going to have to look to get his teammates involved first because he can always get himself going.
Mm-hmm. Mario Elie is with us on Sactown Sports. And, Mario, we had JaVale McGee on this week, and he was talking about the just completed Kings season, which was a little disappointing. JaVale McGee said the Kings could use a tough, dog-minded player. Those are the words he used. And I know you had a reputation for that. Is that the type of thing that you have to be born with, or can a player in your experience learn to be that type of player?
It's hard to learn. It's just born in you, just the competitive spirit. And when I talk to young guys, I always tell them, you have to find a niche in the league, because if you're a younger player going to the NBA, there are guys that are established. I was fortunate to play in an era where they had great veterans, and they showed you how to be a pro, and they showed you how to sort of play with other great players. So I think the league is a little younger now. It's a little tougher, but I think I grew up in New York. I grew up playing in the streets of New York, and Marbury said it on the documentary, and Point Guard's documentary. Game point in New York City basketball is like death.
Yeah.
It's like 100 fouls.
Yeah.
Pushed into the fence and just take the ball out. Guy don't complain. Hard foul. That's where I got it from. I'm used to the contact. I'm used to playing a physical game, and I'm used to playing in, hostile environments.
What do you make of the change at midseason by the referee and the officiating out there? Seems like they let him play a little bit more back there in February.
I'm loving it. I mean, let the players decide. A little contact in the game is okay. Not a lot. A little contact is good. I like that the refs are letting the players play. Guys are adjusting. Guys are big and strong enough to play through that contact. I mean, you can't blow every freaking whistle. We got to go to the video every time a guy gets, smacked in the face or in the head. I mean, the games are long enough. Let the guys play. It's physical. Long as guys are not fighting, which guys are not. Hard foul, get up, go to the free throw line. Let's continue to hoop. And I thought a great example of that was Mark Davis, when Mike Malone came running out the court, just yelling at him, and boom, boom, boom. Mark Davis did a great job of keeping the composure, letting Coach Malone get it out, and he just told the player to get him out of his face. He didn't call a tech on him. He let the dude show his emotion, and that's what it's about. Playoffs is high-intensity basketball. It's a lot of stress out there. I played in a bunch of those games. It's very, very stressful on the coaches and the players on the floor.
You made, speaking of those games, game-winning three-pointer, Game 7 of the West semis to knock Phoenix out in 95, and then you gave their bench a taunting goodbye kiss. What can you tell us? What do you remember the most about what they call in Phoenix the kiss of death shot?
It was just a fun time. It was me and Joe Klein just having fun with each other. Started in Game 5, and he's a good sport. They had a great team. So I hit a three. He hit a shot. He'll blow me a kiss. I hit a shot. I blow him a kiss. But of course, I got the ultimate kiss, and he's the first guy I looked at and turned around and blew him the kiss of death and said, "See you next season, buddy." Bye-bye.
That's awesome. Mario, as I look at your career, man, you play with a lot of great players. Obviously, the Dream, Clyde Drexler out there in Houston, Tim Duncan, David Robinson. Just if you could tell me some stories or what you remember about some of those great players that you played alongside.
They're just all great dudes. Most important, I got a chance to play with Charles, as well. So just all great human beings as well as great talents. What I remember all those guys, when they stepped in between the lines, they were super competitive, those guys. They wanted to be the best on the floor. They wanted to dominate the game. They wanted the damn ball all the time, Between Dream and Clyde, these dudes are begging for the ball every damn time we put out the court. And of course, when I get to San Antonio, we're playing through the big boys, through Duncan and Robinson. But just great dudes, man. Two different sort of teams. My, Houston teams. Those guys were we're on the plane playing cards, blowing music loud. I'm playing with the Spurs. Guys are reading the Wall Street Journal and playing video games. I'm like, what the hell is going on here? This is a little romper room here. I'm like, come on, guys. So that was sort of the difference. We had Mad Max, on our we dice. We played cards. We having a blast on our Houston playing. And like I tell you, I'm on the corporate plane with the Spurs. I'm like, you guys got to loosen up, man. I'm like, let's show a little swagger out here. So. That was the difference.
Yeah, Mario Elie is with us. I want to ask you about something I heard Kenny Smith say about your Rockets one time, and he was on TV, and he said one thing he appreciated about Hakeem Olajuwon. He said Hakeem was an all-time great, but he said Hakeem never referred to us as his guys, which now sometimes you hear superstars, they're talking about my guys, my team. Kenny Smith said he always appreciated that Hakeem kind of treated the rest of the guys like equals, like teammates. All right, can you speak to that? Was that something that you appreciated about Hakeem?
Hakeem was the best, man. Just fun to play with. Just was a great human being. When he got into his spiritual side, Islam, it really put him in a great place mentally, mentally and on the floor. So I think once that happened, because if you can remember, young Hakeem Olajuwon, he came in the league knocking guys out, swinging on guys. I'm like, who is this dude, man? He was swinging on guys left and right. But then once he got into Islam, that really brought him in a great place mentally and brought him peace. And then Dream was just locked in. It was just great playing with a guy like that. He was just a good dude. He'll play one-on-one with the guards. I played with the man 5 years. I make him count 3 or 4 games where he did not play at an elite level. So just a good teammate. He knew he needed us in order for him to reach the ultimate goal, and he did that.
Mario, we kind of to follow up on that. I'm not trying to put you on the spot. Where in the pantheon do you see Hakeem? Because we always make up lists. We always want to talk about greats. What's your thoughts on Hakeem as far as, place him somewhere for me?
Because he gets overlooked a lot.
He does.
Yeah.
He's a top 10 guy for me because what bothers me about what Hakeem has accomplished, he can impact the game on both ends of the floor. You can't say a lot of guys on that top 10 list can do that. They can impact on one end of the floor, but where's a guy who can impact on both ends? Hakeem is all-time leaders in blocks, and for a center, he's 10th all-time in steals. And this is with Jason Kidd, Michael Jordan, Clyde Drexler, John Stockton. The next big center is maybe 70th. He's 10. So we already know what he can do offensively. I mean, and crazy. And when Michael Jordan picks it, they asked Michael Jordan, pick your 3-on-3 team. His first pick was Hakeem Olajuwon.
Wow.
Michael Jordan, Hakeem Olajuwon, and any other three guys can beat anybody. I can tell you that. It don't matter who the third guy is. With those two guys, they're winning.
Yeah, and Mario too. If we can stay on Hakeem, I feel like he could play in any era too. Like, how would you think
killing these dudes in this era? He can switch on the pick and rolls. The thing I don't like about a lot of these bigs is all these guys switch all the time.
Yeah.
When you switch, like Jokic and Embiid, when you switch a small guy onto those two guys, they take those little midgets right under the basket and punish those guys. A lot of these other bigs are shooting jumpers. I mean, I like Porzingis, but you switch on him, he gonna shoot a jump shot. He ain't gonna back in or do nothing like that. But those other two bigs are the prototypical bigs. And that's what Dream would do. Every time Dream, even when we played back in the day, when a smaller guy would switch on Dream will punish that guy.
Mario, I wanted to ask you, speaking of that, something I've always wondered about. You know, the Bulls had their run. You guys had a little run. Then they had their run. Bulls win 3 titles. Michael leaves. Your Rockets win back-to-back titles. Michael comes back in that period, and they win 3 more. What's your best guess? How do you think you guys would have matched up with MJ's Bulls in those 2 years that you guys went back-to-back?
I think we would have matched up fantastic. If you look at the history, one of the few teams that have a winning record against them. And we would have loved the matchup. Yeah. I know the first year Michael was playing baseball. The next year he tried to come back.
Yeah.
And that young Magic team beat them, I think, in the semifinals. And we end up sweeping the Magic. But we would have loved to play them. You know, as an athlete, you want to play against the best. And to me, Michael Jordan is the best to ever lace him on, period. And we would have loved that matchup. You know, Horry, Vernon Maxwell, myself, Sam Cassell. We had some intriguing matchups. You're not going to stop Michael Jordan, obviously. We're going to make him work. But then you had a guy at the rim who can sort of, you know, change shots, and block shots. I don't think Michael, I mean, what center really has he played at the level of Hakeem? You know, I know he played against a young Shaq. I know Jabbar was older in the championship days. I don't know who the Pistons really had in the middle. They really had no dominant center, but Dream was sort of different. I felt it would have been a great matchup, but that's always the big if.
Yeah. Mario, you know, you guys won the back-to-back titles in 94 and 95. 94, you guys were 58-24, you know, won the division, rocking and rolling. The next year, though, just 47 wins, 6th overall seed, I believe. Just tell me the difference between the 2 years. Did you guys know that once playoff time comes, you could turn it up? Just talk to me about that.
Well, we had a little adversity the second year because we struggled. I mean, we were sort of dealing with fat cat-itis. You know, we won the championship. I don't think the guys approached the season the same. So Dream had got hurt that year, and we weren't playing well. So I guess the front office felt we needed to make a move. So Clyde Drexler was on the radar. So we made that trade. We traded Otis Thorpe for Clyde. A lot of guys on the team were upset about the trade because we just won a championship with Otis. We just needed Dream to come back healthy. But the organization felt they had to make a move. But in Clyde's credit, I give him credit. He came in, focused, played good basketball. You know, he held it down for us until Dream got back at the end of the season. And I felt with a healthy Dream and the way Clyde was playing, I mean, I felt anything could happen in the playoffs. And we went on a great run. I mean, we're the lowest seed to ever win the championship. We had the toughest road out any team. You know, we beat 3 teams with 50 wins, 1 team with 60 with no home court. But we had some mentally tough guys who stepped up in big moments and was led by our leaders in Dream and Clyde.
Catching up with Mario Elie, 3-time NBA champ, and he was an assistant coach with a handful of teams, including the Kings. And I want to ask you about your first year with the Kings, Mario, because you guys with Coach Westfall was a head coach. And I remember you had Tyreek and you had Spencer Hawes and Omri Caspi, and some of these guys were playing really well. And you guys got off to a pretty good start. And I remember you beat Indy in December. That was 4 straight wins. And I think it was Jim Lynam said they're going to be a playoff team. Now, the bottom fell out. It didn't work out that way. Was there a time early in that year, as you remember, where you guys felt like, hey, we may have something coming together here?
Yeah, we're a young team, was trying to figure it out. Tyreek came in and just had an amazing year for us. We got off to a good start. But, as a young team, the real dog days of the NBA really come in January, where teams sort of settled in. And as a young team, we would compete and be in a lot of games, but we just didn't really know how to finish, at that point. We were in games, but we just didn't know how to finish. But like I said, I really enjoyed my time in Sac. Those guys were fun to coach, but we were just still a young team.
What did you think of, the job Mike Brown's done over 2 years, ending the streak, ending the drought, if you will? What were your thoughts on that season?
Mike Brown, I think, has done a great job. He's been a good coach in this league. He has success in different spots. I mean, the West is tough, man. People got to understand the West is tough, especially going into next year. I think Portland's probably the only team they think it's going to be weak. I mean, the Western Conference is not easy. Sacramento put themselves in a position to make the real playoffs. At least they made the play-in. I mean, they did. I think they beat the Warriors, right?
Yep, the first play-in game.
Lost to us.
Yeah,
I'm with the Pelicans, so
okay.
And they lost to the Pelicans, but Fox, I'm a fan of. Thought Sabonis had a great year. I think Keegan Murray's a solid piece. I thought Malik Monk getting hurt really hurt them because he was one of the better scorers off the bench, and he had big games. He had big games for the Kings, and they missed his scoring, I think, tremendously. And Herter, I thought, struggled. Then he went down with injury. So those are 2 key pieces. So they get those guys back, I think, they can make some noise in the West.
Mario, you look at your career, and it's incredible all the places you've been and everything you went through to become a champion. And I'm curious, other than the U.S., which obviously is your home and is the best league in the world, in which country did you enjoy playing in the most? And how different is it playing in some of those countries as opposed to playing here in the NBA?
It's different, and I really enjoyed everywhere. I mean, the people were great. I mean, they really embraced you. I mean, whatever town or team you play for, that whole town really embraced you.
Didn't you play in Ireland or somewhere?
Yeah, I played in Ireland,
wow.
Right outside of Dublin. I mean, had a great time out there. The people were great. Went to Portugal, played in Portugal. I had a great time over there, played in a little town up north, which was great. The whole town would come to the games. I mean, there was like 4,000 people in the town, and the whole town would be at the games. So it was just a great experience. And then in Argentina, basketball was pretty good down there. Had a good time down there. And I tell young guys, I mean, playing basketball, getting to see the world, it was pretty neat.
Yeah.
Joined by Mario Elie. Mario, one of the things I always find interesting when I look at your career is, and you're a New York guy, of course, but Manhattan borough. Most of the time when you think New York, we always the uptown, boogie down, Brooklyn, something. You being from Manhattan has always struck me as interesting, man. Express to me, first of all, because I know you're a New York guy, you're going to say the Mecca is New York. There is no one better than a New York basketball player. But explain to me and express how playing in Manhattan is different than some of the other boroughs that we seem to kind of always, get as like being the toughest or best basketball player.
Well, first and foremost, Manhattan is one of the smaller ones. Like Brooklyn is a huge borough, in Queens and Bronx. Those boroughs are bigger than the Manhattan area, first and foremost. So when you see Brooklyn, you got all these players from Brooklyn. Brooklyn is huge. Got like 3 million. Brooklyn is like its own state and own city.
Right.
Manhattan is just small. It's people want to come into the city. You got Harlem, where there's some good basketball. You got some good basketball players who came out of Harlem, New York. I grew up right outside of Harlem. A lot of my friends and, are from up there. But the city's just great, man. I mean, tough-minded. I mean, guys want to play in the Rucker. You come to a summer league game in New York City. There's 3,000 people there. You can't even see the baselines. There's so many people in the court. You can't even see the baseline. You got the DJ playing music. You got a guy on the microphone. If a guy gets dunked on, the people from the stands run on the court. Like Durant was up there. Durant had like 66.
Yeah.
He had maybe 10 threes in a row. So when he hit his 10th three, people just run on the court. Not to hurt him, just to hug him and celebrate it. Like when a guy gets dunked on in a New York Park game, they running on the court. The guy on the mic is going crazy. Oh my God, he just got flushed on. He just got dunked on. He just makes it sound crazy. The fans are laughing and excited. It's just an amazing environment. Because if you get shaked to the ground, the crowd go, woo, they react to everything. So it's an amazing environment to play in and to grow up in. And it's high pressure. You got to make sure you're on your game. If you're not on your game, they're going to talk bad about you.
Mario, Drapes here, man. I love that story. I'm from Philly, originally born and raised in Philadelphia. And one thing I always say about New Yorkers, first thing they do is they'll tell you from New York. So there's a little rivalry there between Philly and New Yorkers. I'm going to just let you know that right now.
But let me tell you something. The Yankee hat is worldwide. That's all I got. The Yankee hat on is worldwide. Whether you're in France, Africa, Australia. The Yankee hat, dog. That dark blue and white, man. Come on, boss.
Oh, listen, hold on. See
that Yankee fitted, man.
Think about this, though. How long Mario been away from New York? Listen to this guy.
I'm like, where you from? I'm from Michigan. I'm like, what you got to New York?
Come on, Mario. You ain't lived in New York in 30 years, man. Come on.
I grew up in the city, man. I hooped in the city. Hey, born and raised, bro. I can tell you every subway, man. I can tell you any way to get around New York, bro.
Hey, let me say one last thing, Mario, before I wrap it up on my end. I know you're a scout with the Pelicans now. Can y'all take it easier on us this upcoming season? Like 6 wins again. How'd y'all spank us like that, man?
We're going to keep, like I said, family, the West is going to be crazy this year, man. I mean, you got the Young Thunder, the Wolves, Denver ain't going nowhere. You got Dallas. You got Wemby. You got LeBron and AD. You got Shaw. We got Kawhi and PG and Harden. Got us, Ja coming back. I'm like, man, dog. I'm like, the West is gonna be a problem. So y'all gonna be better. It ain't gonna last long, man. So that's the competition, man, in the game. Like, we just happen to be a tough matchup for you guys. I don't know why. We seem to match up pretty good with y'all.
Mario, one more thing. We'll let you go. We appreciate your time. Looking at your career again, you went to the same high school as Kareem, right? You went to Power Memorial?
Kareem and Chris Mullins.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And you go there, and as a freshman, didn't make the team. The Bucks drafted you. They ended up letting you go, and yet you went on. You overcome things like that and become a 3-time champion. A lot of people go through things, have setbacks, and it's discouraging. Where do you find the confidence that allows you to overcome that? What advice do you have to people that, oh, I didn't get this job, or, oh, I didn't get this, I didn't get that? Where do you find the strength to persevere through that?
Belief and perseverance. If you really love something, believe in something. My mom really believed in me. My dad sort of passed away when I first graduated from college. So it's my mom and my brother that really like, you can do this. So they put that confidence in me. So when I decided to stop playing overseas, I played in the CBA. I did excellent the first year. I felt I should have got called up, but I got lucky the second year. I had George Carr as my head coach and Terry Stott as my assistant coach with the Albany Patroons. So everything seemed to happen for me that year. Got a 10-day with the 76ers, played well, got cut. then got called up a month later by the Warriors. So Don Nelson brought me in his hotel and said, man, I'm going to play you 30 minutes tonight. You got to show me what you got. So I ended up having 15 points and 11 rebounds, and the rest is history. They signed me to that year, the next year, and then that's where I went from Portland to Houston to San Antonio, then Phoenix.
Awesome.
Great stuff.
Mario, thanks very much for your time. We appreciate it. Hope you have a great weekend.
Always great chopping you up with you guys, and I love the Bay Area. Sac is a great town, man.
All right, my man. Appreciate you, babe.
Thank you, Mario.
Anytime, fellas.
All right, now.
Mario Elie, story time today on Sactown Sports. When we come back, Drape's found some Malik news that might not be great. It's coming up on